Hello dear students, good afternoon everyone. Yesterday what we discussed means Dalton's law of means that Dalton's atomic theory and its merits and demerits, and that ultimately discovery of electrons. So in the last class we will discuss all those things. Today in this class we are going to discussing here one of the most interesting and as well as that important concept, that is so properties of that cathode rays. So let's discuss this particular session with this particular concept. So let's concentrate guys here, that is properties of cathode rays. Properties of cathode rays. So guys, so we have discovered here electrons with the help of discharge tube experiment. So in this particular case what happened, those cathode rays, they can exhibit some sort of properties, some important properties. So what are those properties could be exhibited by that cathode rays? We'll discuss one by one here. So in the very first, these particular cathode rays, they travel in a straight line. This is one of the most important properties of that cathode ray here. So the very first property is to be the cathode rays travel in a straight line. So why? Because you know that, so since here cathode rays moving from cathode to anode, means since cathode rays having that negative charge species, means negative charge on it, and here because of that particular fact, anode that has to be attracted that cathode rays there over. Hence that in that empty discharge tube, that particular cathode rays that have been travel in a straight line. That's why that has to be travel in straight line. So this is the very first properties of that cathode ray. And the second one is that here, second one, so since that cathode rays is a stream of an electron, that's why cathode rays carrying here negatively charged particle. Okay, that's also one of the most interesting properties here. That is the cathode ray carries negatively charged particle. Okay, and the third one, these cathode rays, they can produce heating effect. How means, see, that cathode ray supposed to be is going to hit to that wall of that particular discharge tube, means there would be some sort of heat has to be generated guys. So that's why that cathode ray that has to be generated here, heat means that can produces that heating effect here. I mean to say is that, okay. The third one is here, the cathode ray produces heating effect. Okay, let's see that next one. See, this cathode ray, they can penetrate here a thin sheet of a material. Suppose we have any particular thin sheet of material, suppose we made to pass that particular cathode rays over them, so they can penetrate that particular sheet. Okay, that's why cathode ray here, they can penetrate any particular thin sheet of material. So that is also one of the property of that cathode ray here. Write down the cathode ray penetrate a thin sheet of material. So this is also one of the most important so properties of that cathode ray. So guys, fifth one here, very much important here guys. See, this particular cathode ray is being travel in a straight line. When it has to be, when actually this particular thing happened in the absence of electric and magnetic field. Suppose if we apply here electric and magnetic field, means that particular cathode ray, they can so change their path, means I mean to say is that they can deflected. They would not travel in a straight line in the presence of electric and as well as that magnetic field. Okay, so the thing is that the cathode ray, or they can they can deflect in the presence of electric and magnetic field. They can deflect in the presence of electric and magnetic field, one of the most important properties regarding here cathode rays. Okay, so and ultimately here one of the most interesting property here as well, that is the E by M ratio. The E by M ratio of that particular electron is always been constant in this particular case. You know that cathode ray that can exhibit here E by M value would be always constant. Why? Because you can take any particular gases, in that particular thing electron would be same, guys. So electron doesn't change there, means that E by M value of that particular electron cannot be changed. Okay, so that's why here the E by M value, the ratio of E by M value is constant in the case of cathode rays. Okay, so write down here the E by M value of cathode rays is constant. Cathode ray is constant. The E by M value of cathode ray is constant. I mean to say is that the ratio of charge and mass, both that value what we get here, ultimately that particular value for that cathode ray would be constant. Why? Because you can take any particular gas, guys. Okay, in that particular gas the electron cannot be changed. Electrons values must be same, both their charge and as well as that mass. That's why their ratio is always been a constant in the case of cathode rays. Okay, so but what happened, suppose means so next to that here, one more important properties belongs to cathode ray, that is, see, that particular cathode ray, this particular cathode rays is independent on that nature of that gas, and that so that also which is independent on that material of that electrode. Okay, so you know the diagram particularly. So there we have been used their two thin metal electrode, and as well as that they are also taken in the discharge tube some gases, right? So this particular cathode ray, it is independent on that particular gases, means what we have taken in the discharge tube, which is independent on that particular gas, and the meanwhile that also independent on that so material of that particular electrode. Means whatever may be the electrode you can take, or whatever may be the gas you can take in the discharge tube, it cannot depend on that particular factor. Okay, so which is completely independent, guys. That's why their E by M value would be here constant, isn't it? So here one of the most interesting that is property regarding cathode ray will be here cathode rays is independent on that nature of gas and material of the electrode used. Okay, so this is one of the most important properties belongs to here cathode rays, that is the cathode ray which is independent on that nature of that gas and material of the electrode what we have used in the discharge tube experiment. Okay, whatever may be the gas you can take, or whatever may be the electrode that we have used there, so you have used, so it doesn't depend on that means that cathode ray doesn't depend on those particular factor. Okay, that's why the ratio of means charge and mass value would be here same, guys. Okay, so this is the scenario here. Hence here that E by M value of that particular cathode rays would be always 1.76 into 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. Okay, that is E by M value of that particular cathode rays, nothing but electron. So 1.76 into 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. Here E stands for charge on that electron and mass of that electron. E stands for here charge on the electron, and so M is nothing but here mass of an electron, mass of an electron. So their ratio we are going to get here 1.76 into 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. Okay, so that's why you would say here electron, which is an universal constant of an all the matter. That's why because, so why that electron is an universal constant of an all the matter means their E by m value cannot be altered. So that E by m value, suppose you can take any particular gases or you can use any particular material of the particular electrode, their value doesn't alter at all. That's why here E by m value would be constant for any particular gases. That's why ultimately, so we have concluded that here electron is a constant particle of an all the matter, universal constant of an all the matter. So that is also one of the most important properties. I just write here electron is an universal constituent of all the matter, constant of an all the matter. Yes guys, so this is all about here properties of that cathode rays, very much important. So we have to remember always that these particular things, okay, you cannot neglect, means these particular property here very much important. So okay, so if you know once cathode rays properties, so some properties would be same for that anode rays also. That's why we have to concentrate, we have to aware on these particular properties. Okay, so and next we shall move on to that one of the most interesting concept, that is charge and so mass calculation of that electron. Means we are going to calculate right now here charge and mass ratio of the particular electron, nothing but cathode rays. Calculation of charge and mass of an electron. Yes guys, very first here the E by m value of electron, we already know that here, that is 1.76 into 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. And here that mass of electron, suppose if we are going to calculate, means we actually know that here charge of that electron. So charge of the electron would be here charge of the electron, which equals to 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. Okay. Suppose if you want to calculate here that mass of that electron, means so we have one particular formula, that is mass of electron, which equals to E by ratio of E by m, means charge of electron over so ratio of charge and mass of that electron. Okay, so that's why E is nothing but here charge of the electron, which is 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb divided by, so E by m value guys here 1.76 into 10 to the power of 8 coulomb per gram. Suppose if you can solve these particular things, means ultimately we are going to be get here that mass of the electron would be 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 gram, which is very much important guys. This is mass of the electron, so we have to know this particular thing here. Clear guys? So this is all about here calculation of charge and mass of an electron. So obviously the charge of that electron that can be determined by here, so Mulliken's experiment. So means right now their explanation is not required here. So we have to know their charge, what the charge on that electron, we must have to know that particular thing, that's it. Okay, if you know this particular thing, means it's next a very very much interesting concept, that is discovery of an anode. discovery of an proton. So before that, so we have to define here particularly electron. So how do we define that electron here actually? See, electron, which is nothing but here subatomic particles carrying here 1 unit electrical charge and having mass here absolutely 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 gram. So write down, guys. So since we have discussing here, so that discovery of electron and their properties, so hence we can define in the standard form of that electron would be here like that, is an subatomic particle. Electron is a subatomic particle carrying unit of electrical charge, that is 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb and having mass that is, guys, how much? 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 gram. What? No, 9.1. Okay, 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 gram. Okay, so this is that a standard definition for that electron here. So electron is an subatomic particle carrying a unit of electrical charge here and having a mass 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 28 gram. So this is that all about here that cathode rays. Okay, so the next we shall move on to that here one of the most interesting concept, that is the discovery of proton, guys. So very much important. So what are the things we are going to learn there over? So we'll discuss one by one. That is discovery of proton. So here the proton, it was discovered by here a scientist, that is Goldstein. Okay, proton was discovered by a scientist that is called Goldstein. So he was the scientist who discovered a proton. Okay, so what he does means he just modify that Thomson's discharge tube there. Okay, he only does that particular thing, that's it. So he just modify here Thomson's discharge tube experiment. So actually what he does there over means he just replace that particular cathode instead of that here perforated cathode. Okay, so in discharge tube experiment we have been used there over a particular cathode, right? So that material has been replaced by here perforated cathode. Okay, perforated cathode means that cathode itself, it has a hole inside. Okay, so thereby what happen, we'll see. Okay, so I'll just draw here one particular diagram, that is a discharge tube, again modified discharge tube. So the discharge tube again, which is made up of glass, and this discharge tube having here one particular electrode, which is an called to be as an here anode, that is an anode, guys. Okay, and so what I told you that that particular Goldstein, he modified the discharge tube experiment by replacing cathode electrode as by an perforated cathode, right? So I am just here introducing perforated cathode. That perforated cathode here having hole. Okay. So which is a cathode, perforated cathode, which is an anode, guys. Okay, and this is a fluorescent material, which is an fluorescent or phosphorescent material. Okay, this is a discharge tube. and which contain again air, and their pressure would be, air is also there, and their pressure would be 0.1 millimeter of mercury that has been controlled by here vacuum pump. And so with the help of this particular electrode we are going to apply here same voltage, that is 10,000 means. So here also those two criteria would be same. So what we have, so maintain the two criteria in the case of discharge tube experiment. Here also the same thing, a low pressure and high voltage would be the same scenario. Here also we are going to be maintained. Okay, see, when we have applied here a voltage about 10,000 in between this particular electrode, what happened? From here some invisible rays are flowing towards or moving towards a perforated cathode. Okay, so here that arrow mark along with that positive charge which indicate here anode rays, since which is emerging from here anode, that's why that we can call to be as an here anode rays. At the same time guys, we have to know, so this particular anode rays they can so penetrate to that perforated cathode, and they can directly goes and hit to that this particular fluorescent material, means wall of the discharge tube. When this particular rays is going to hit, then this particular fluorescent material started to glow. Okay, so that can show some tiny flashes. Okay, so this is the scenario is taking place here. Okay, and at the same time when we have applied 10,000 voltage in between this electrode, so since here from anode to cathode some positive rays are moving, at the same time from cathode to anode some rays are again here traveling guys. Okay, so this is only a normal arrow mark indicating here that is a movement of cathode rays. Why? Because if we have using any particular gas means, so in that particularly what happen, electron is also there and as well as that proton is also there. So that's why here that particularly the cathode rays is also going to moving in the opposite direction of that anode ray. Okay, so we have indicating here, so this particular which is anode ray, this is anode ray, the arrow mark with that positive charge which is anode ray, and normal arrow mark which is cathode ray, Okay, very simple guys, which is this particular experiment. Okay, so thereby we came to know that, so in this particular experiment there must be that some so invisible rays are there over those particular rays which is traveling from here anode to cathode, and this particular rays we can call to be as an here anode rays, and that also we can call to be as an here canal rays. Why? Because so this particular anode rays here traveling from here perforated cathode, that's why we can call to be as an here anode rays is an canal rays. Okay, so that's why that anode rays would be called to be as an here canal rays. Okay, so this is how experiment is done here about so that is discovery of proton. Okay guys, so this is all about here. So discovery of proton, so with the help of discharge means modified discharge tube. Okay, so by using here perforated cathode. Okay guys, so next discuss their properties, anode rays properties we'll discuss here one by one. Properties of anode rays. Some of properties here almost same to that properties of the discharge cathode rays. Okay, so what are those properties would be same here, we'll discuss one by one. So right now guys we are discussing here properties of anode rays. The very first property here, so just like that cathode rays, that particular anode rays also travel in a straight line. Okay, that anode rays is also travel in a straight line. Second one guys, so this anode rays also produces that heating effect here. So as that cathode rays, how that particular cathode ray is going to produces heating effect, here also the same thing that is exhibited by here anode rays. Okay, so here anode ray also produces heating effect. Okay, so third one, this particular anode ray also deflected in the presence of electric and as well as that magnetic field. The same thing guys, anode rays deflected in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. See, like that cathode ray, anode ray can also exhibit here penetrating power. They can also have some penetrating power, but as compared to cathode ray, their penetrating power must be very less. Okay, so this is also one of the most interesting and compared. So you know that somewhat we have to compare that properties of that cathode ray and anode ray, then only it will be very easy to remember. Okay, so write down here, anode rays also have penetrating power, but which are less than cathode rays. Okay, so and that next one guys, see there in that cathode rays properties, that E by M value is going to be constant for that cathode rays, but here E by M value is not a constant. That E by M value is going to be vary. Okay, why? Because so if you take different gases, means different gases have the different masses, isn't it? That's why their E by M value cannot be so constant. Okay, it has to varies from one particular gas to another particular gas. Okay, why? Because different gases having the different masses, so that's why their E by M value cannot be constant. So that's why E by M value of anode rays, is not constant. Okay, and one more thing guys here. So I'm just that I'm rubbing this particular diagram. I just continue that property here. Yes. So very next here, one of the most interesting property, that is also here that so there that particularly anode rays, means that there in the case of a discovery of that electron, cathode rays which is independent on that nature of that gas and that material of the electrode, but here the anode rays which is dependent on that both the things. Okay, that also depend on that nature of gas and as well as that material of that particular electrode. Okay, so that is the here one of the most important scenario here, anode rays depending on nature of gas. So that's one. Okay, so that's why their E by M value varies. Okay, which is the most important thing guys. Okay, so then the E by M value exhibited by anode rays would be here 9.58 into 10 to the power of 4 coulomb per gram. Okay, so this is all about here the properties of that anode rays. Okay, so we have to differentiate that suppose if you want to differentiate that cathode properties of that cathode rays and anode rays, means so we should have that almost same properties here, but very exceptional thing means here, so means very difference. Suppose if you we could find out here differences means in their E by M value. Okay, and this particular thing means that that depending on that nature of gas. Okay, that cathode ray, it is doesn't depend on their particular nature of gas and as well as that material of the electrode. Okay, this is all about here properties of that anode rays. So let's find out here. There means you know that charge and charge by mass ratio and mass of that proton. We'll discuss here. Calculation of mass of proton. Calculation of mass of proton. Very much interesting, guys. So we have to know this particular mass of electron, mass of proton and mass of one of the particular that next subatomic particle neutron. So we'll discuss on that particular concept. So calculation of mass of electrons means the formula would be like that: mass of proton which equals to charge on that proton and E by m value of that proton. So almost all here charge on that proton would be here 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. But in the case of electron, the charge on that particular electron would be here minus 1.602. But here proton, since it has positive charge, that's why their particular value would be here charge plus 1.602 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. But we have not mentioned their charge while discussing their particular mass. Okay, so E by m value for that particular proton would be here 9.58 into 10 to the power of 4 coulomb per gram. So ultimately we are going to get here 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg in terms of kg. 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kg, which is mass of proton, guys. Mass of proton. Yes, so this is all about here properties of that anode rays. Okay, and their particular so charge on that proton and mass of that particular proton would be like this. Okay, guys. So next we shall move on to that here one of the most interesting concept, that is also, since we have discussed here, since we have overcome here, so the discovery of cathode rays and discovery of electron and discovery of proton. So ultimately, so there will be one more subatomic particles has to be there for discovery of in the concept of discovery of neutron. We will discuss here what are the steps we are going to know by studying that particular thing. Okay, that is discovery of neutron. Discovery of neutron. Okay, so discovery of neutron, guys. So in the very first, the existence of neutron would be predicted by here Rutherford. Okay, in the very first, the existence of neutron means, suppose if we consider one particular atom, there might be some neutron has to be there. There might be some that a neutral atom has to be there. So this particular thing has been predicted by here Rutherford. So later on, that particular thing confirmed by means that existence of that neutron, which is confirmed by, that is James Chadwick. Okay, so then we almost know that here that discovery of neutron that was done by here, so that is James Chadwick. So he is the fellow who find out here, who discover here neutron. Okay, what he does there means, see, first he would take here some lighter metals like lighter elements like boron or beryllium, and he bombarded by some high speed alpha particles. So when he bombarded with that high speed alpha particles, a new particular particle has to be emitted from that particular metal, that particular element. Okay, so then what is that particular reaction, what is that particular experiment so he does, we'll see here. I just taken here beryllium, their molecular mass would be 9 and that atomic number will be 4. Okay, and he just made to fall, he made to bombard with that a helium, which is nothing but alpha particle. Then he got over, means carbon has to be formed here, and that and along with that a new particle has to be emerges from that particular experiment, that is a neutron. That particle is called to be as an here neutron. So how do we came to know that? Means that particular particle cannot be deflected in the presence of electric and as well as that magnetic field, which means that that particular particle would be here electrically neutral, but their mass, which is almost equal to that mass of proton. Okay, their particular mass would be is almost equal to that mass of a proton. So and moreover, that Chadwick, he confirms that that particular neutron, which is not an X-ray particle, but that velocity of that particular neutron would be 1/10th of that velocity of the light, and which is not almost equal to that of velocity of that light. So this particular thing ultimately so confirmed by here James Chadwick. Okay, so he is that that who found that first of all neutron here. So with this particular experiment, so he made to fall that high speed alpha particle with that beryllium, and from that beryllium one particular new particle has to be emerges that we can call to be as an here neutron. Why? Because this particle, which is an electrically neutral, how to came to know that? Means in the presence of electric and magnetic field, it cannot be deflected, it simply is that moving in a straight line, and the thing is that their particular mass would be equal to that mass of an proton. Okay, so this is how that neutron has to be generated, and this particular thing has been so this particular thing discovered by here James Chadwick. So this is all about here discovery of neutron. Very simple concept, guys. Okay, and so by studying all those particular thing, and ultimately so we have some important note here, that is that some order of their masses and their order of their E/m values. So suppose if you consider proton, neutron and electron, how would be that their order of their masses? Okay, order of mass of proton, electron and neutron. Okay, so guys, here we have to know that the mass of the neutron is somewhat more than that of that mass of a proton. Okay, so here since that mass of that particular proton would be more than that of that mass of that electron, but if you compare that mass of that neutron would be more than that of mass of that proton here. Hence that the order of masses would be here, that mass of neutron greater than that of mass of proton and mass of electron. Okay, which is an important order we have to know always. That is mass of that neutron, which is greater than that of mass of proton, and mass of proton, which is greater than that of mass of electron. So how do we know that here mass of that proton would be very high as compared to that mass of electron? Means see what happened during the deflection. What happened? So you know that the extent of deflection for that proton, which is very less. Okay, as their particular cathode rays deflection, it would be very high in the presence of electric and magnetic field. Why? Because it is somewhat lighter than that of proton. So here that particularly mass of proton here very much than that of electrons, means during the deflection they came to know that in the presence of electric and magnetic field, the extent of deflection can be exhibited by that proton would be very less. Okay, so that's why because so if heavier atom has to be there, means their particular deflection would be very less. That's why so then they came to know that here mass of that proton would be very high for that that high than that of mass of that electron. So this is an order. And the second one here, suppose if you can that want to see that order of their E/m values, order of ratios of E/m value. So which will be in that opposite order. E/m value of that electron, which is greater than that of E/m value of proton, which is greater than that of E/m value of neutron. So this is also one of the most interesting and important order here. Okay, so this is all about here the discovery of neutron gas. Okay, so in the next class we will discussing here some of the important definitions like atomic number, mass number, isotopes, isobars, isotones and isodiaphers and isoelectronic species. And so with respect to that particular definitions, we also have to discuss, we also have to discuss some numericals regarding those particular definitions. So those particular concepts also very important for your competitive and board examination purpose. So we will discuss in the next class, and thank you for everyone.